Hello YouTube world, hope you're having a beautiful day. Thank you so much for coming to my channel and watching this video. If you are new here, hello, welcome. My name is Joshua Entis. I'm an animal rights activist, and for the last couple years, I've been traveling around the world, giving talks, getting active, and trying to live my best life. Trying to create change, liberate animals, the mind, the body, the soul. So thank you so much for being here. That's a little bit about me. If you continue to come back to my channel and watch my videos and send me love, thank you so much. I'm sending love back your way. I appreciate you all. But let's get going on this Q&A video. I haven't done one of these in a while. Last night on Instagram, I posted a question. Do you have any questions about activism? Because so many people have questions about activism, so I want to start making more of these Q&A videos. So if you ever have questions, let me know on Instagram, Facebook, or leave them in the comments here. But let's get going with today's 7 questions. The first one, where do I start? So how do I get involved in activism? The best way to explain this, or to give you some insight and perspective, is to share my experience of getting active, because that's actually the second question, is how did I first get involved in activism? So I first got involved with taking to social media. And I think social media is the best place for everyone to get involved. Every city has a local vegan Facebook group. I'm pretty sure every city has a local vegan Facebook group. Now, not all of them are activist forward and are always posting things about activism, but it's a great place to start. It's a great place to meet people. So what I did is, it started back in Seattle for me. I went to the group and I typed, I'm looking to get involved in activism. Is anyone doing any activism? Blah, blah, blah. And someone wrote back that there was gonna be this leafleting event happening at the Pride Festival. And I was super nervous. I was like, leafleting, passing out all these flyers? This is gonna be difficult for me. And what I did was I just connected with that individual. We connected on social media, we then connected in person, and then I went to the event with them to do some activism. And that was it. That was how I got started, was leafleting at Pride Festival. But then I took social media to the next level and I started watching videos on YouTube and Facebook, and I started to see some of these things like, I found Anonymous for the Voiceless, because I think it was Joey Carbstrong at the time. I was watching him doing some outreach with people behind him wearing white masks and holding computer screens. And I was like, wow, that looks amazing. I want to look into that. And as I was looking into that, I saw people that were bearing witness in front of slaughterhouses. And then I saw that there was an organization called the Save Movement. And then by using social media again and connecting with other individuals, I saw that there were people going into these grocery stores and singing songs and chanting and doing these disruptions. So that's when I found Direct Action Everywhere. So I think really social media is the best place to start. Connect with individuals in your community, connect with them in person, go out for some food, talk about activism, talk about maybe some fears or some things that have been holding you back, and then just go out and get active with them. So Anonymous for the Voiceless, doing a Cube of Truth, great place to start, and I'll leave all this info in the description. Direct Action Everywhere, another great place. And then the Save Movement, bearing witness, going to one of these slaughterhouses or a live auction and connecting with these individuals. Great form of activism to really build that conviction. So that's how I choose to get started, is start with social media, find all of these groups that are local to you. I know with Anonymous for the Voiceless, they're in, I think, almost 1,000 cities around the world. The Save Movement is like over 500 cities around the world. So most cities have one of these larger animal rights organizations there, but also different ways you can get involved. Just get out and draw on the floor with some chalk. Take to social media and write your own posts. This is how I actually recommend people find their activism voice or their style, is writing content for social media. So to sum it up, social media, use it, get involved, get active, and let me know if you have any other questions. All right, question number 3. Going to my first Cube of Truth in May. Awesome. Do you have any tips? So for those of you that might not know what a Cube of Truth is, definitely recommend going to cubeoftruth.com or just typing in on YouTube, Cube of Truth, to check it out. Basically, Anonymous for the Voiceless is an animal rights organization that specializes in street activism, doing these cubes of truth. They set up in a cube formation, get it, Cube of Truth, with people holding computer screens, tablets, or other devices and signs. And these devices are showing footage of what happens in animal agriculture, and that draws people in. It's like a street performance. And then there's a team of outreachers or people who will communicate with the bystanders that do choose to engage and watch the footage. So a really nice way to bring people in, show them footage of what happens in these industries, and then engage in conversation. So tips for going to your first Cube of Truth. Yes, first and foremost, number 1, really understand your comfort level with your activism. So have you been doing activism for a long time? Have you been communicating with people about it? Have you already done outreach? Are you nervous and scared and don't want to speak to anyone and are frightened what people are going to think about you? Really figure out where you fall on that scale of comfort with your activism, because there is a place for you at a Cube of Truth. If you are new to activism and don't know or feel comfortable talking with people about veganism yet, then getting inside the cube and standing there and holding a device or a sign is such a powerful way to get active for the day, because without you standing in the cube, we wouldn't be able to operate. We wouldn't be able to have a beautiful artistic demonstration happening so people could come watch this footage so then we can engage in conversation. If you are like super nervous, and I've had these people that just really want to go check it out, then I always advocate just come to the Cube of Truth, come to the demonstration, and stand by the table and just watch, walk around, be a bystander, ask the organizers questions. Sometimes when people just get there, they feel a little bit more comfortable when they can see how it operates. If you feel a little bit more confident with speaking with people about veganism, then maybe doing outreach is for you. I recommend educating yourself. So that's tip number 2. Watch outreach videos online, watch documentaries, read books, gain all of that knowledge and that insight so that if you do come across a point when you are speaking with someone about veganism at the Cube of Truth, you're more equipped to handle that conversation. You have all of that information. Step number 3, or tip number 3, is just go in with a super positive mindset, because just by you getting out there to a cube and getting active, you are making a huge difference in this world. You are doing justice for the animals. You are getting active, and that is an incredible thing. So feel confident, feel empowered, and feel excited that you are getting out there. And connect with everyone there. Tip number 4, meet everyone, introduce yourself. There's a briefing and a debriefing. Talk to the organizers. They go out to dinner or lunch, or they just go out to a meal afterwards. So connect with everyone and just build that sense of community so that getting active the next time is so much easier for you. Question number 4. Ooh, I like this one. How can I do activism while still in high school? I don't think there is an age restriction to getting active. Well, I mean, no, there isn't, because I've done activism with like a 9-month-old just strapped to her mother's chest. You know, they were still doing activism. So I don't think there's an age restriction. I definitely think you should be mindful about what forms of activism you do depending on your age. But I have done activism with 16-year-olds where we've gone to a slaughterhouse and we've bore witness, we've stopped trucks and we've connected with these individuals before going into slaughter. And then at 6:30 in the morning, they said goodbye and left because they had to get to high school. I've done outreach events with people who were 10, 11, 12, 14, 16, 18, 80. So really, I think getting active while you're in high school is really just a time management thing, and working with your family or whoever you live with to work around their schedule, because I mean, a lot of the times they drive you places. So I would say get on that comfort level with your family or whoever can drive you to get to an activist event, and have them support you, have them take you there, figure out what works best for your schedule and what works best for their schedule. The cubes and most activism events take place on the weekend, so when school's not in session. So I think really eliminate the thought that like, can you be an activist when you're in high school? Because there are so many activists that I've met that are even younger than high school age. So if you are a young activist or an activist that's in high school, share your experience in the comments below so that whoever asked this question can check that out and get a little bit more insight and perspective. So I really think just work around your schedule. Don't let it sacrifice your education right now. That's why the weekends are the best to fill in that time for getting active. Question number 5. How do you stay motivated if the activism community isn't united? So I'm going to make a big video about this, about talking about infighting and when communities are separated, because I truly believe that if we want to see a world where all animals are free, if we want to see a world of total animal liberation, we're going to have to be lifting each other up and not bringing each other down. But to make it simple for this video and to be quick, I think the best way to stay motivated is, 1, not contribute to the negativity, not contribute to the fighting yourself. If you have an issue with someone specific, reach out to that individual, speak to them personally, and conflict resolve. Communicate with them and say, hey, I've had these issues. Can we clear things up? I want to work together. There shouldn't be a my form of activism is better than yours, or my organization is better than your organization. We have to be working together. Another tip that I would recommend is just fill everything that goes on up in here with positivity. Listen to positive music, watch positive shows, think positive thoughts. Try to remove yourself from the negativity and understand that, hey, you get to control what goes on in here. And if you remain positive, and if you start filling your mind with positive thoughts, you have a higher chance of having positive words come out, positive actions, and then you get to spend time with positive people. So really try to work from the ground up and not contribute to it yourself, not contribute to the infighting yourself or the separation. Try to nip it in the bud by chatting with the individuals that there might be an issue or a level of concern with, so that you can try to work things out, so that you can strengthen the community. Like I said, lift each other up instead of bring each other down, and then fill your mind with positivity, fill your thoughts with positivity, your words with positivity, your actions with positivity, and then try to spend time with positive people. Yeah, I can go on for that for hours. And then this is question number 6, how to prevent fights and disagreements in your group. Sort of going off of the last question, once again, I'm gonna make a huge video talking about infighting and different ways that we can solve this. But I think the best way that we can do, or the best way that we can prevent these fights and disagreements is, one, try to eliminate the ego. Try to remember who we're fighting for, the animals. A lot of the times people get lost in the ego of like, I need to do this, or I need to be a leader of this, or my organization's better than yours, or my social media platform's bigger than yours. We have to eliminate this stuff. We have to remember who we're fighting for, and we have to remember the task at hand, that this is a very difficult mission. This is a big fight that we're going up against, and we need to be in it together, and we need to be utilizing all of our strengths together. So if there's this fight going on, if there's this infighting, that's not going to lift each other up. That's just going to bring each other down. So to prevent it, like the last question, don't contribute to it. If you see it happening, try to solve it quickly. Most of the time, this infighting stuff happens on social media. Don't screenshot stuff and share it with other people and talk bad about someone. Don't talk bad behind someone's back. Just really remember who you're fighting for and try to do everything you can to be a positive role model and a positive activist for the animals. And I think, like, to prevent it, it's so hard to really prevent it, to see where it's coming from. I just think we can try to remove it as quickly as possible, if that makes sense, with those steps that I mentioned in the last question. And then the last question, number 7, sometimes there are several actions happening at one time and people expect you to be everywhere. What do I do? Another amazing question, which is I think it's a beautiful problem to have. All of these activism events happening, which one do I do? I want there to be actions happening every second of every day. That's how we achieve our end goal of total animal liberation. But I think for now, what we can do is just be a little bit easier on yourself. Don't put too much pressure on yourself to be everywhere, and just pick what forms of activism resonate with you the most, where you utilize your energy as effectively as possible. Maybe it's aligning your activism with a skill or a passion that you have. If you are a communicator or a salesperson and love speaking with people, then maybe prioritize doing vegan outreach. If you're a little bit more introverted, you don't communicate with people, you're not as confident doing outreach, maybe do some forms of activism that allow you to be a little bit more silent and introverted. So going and bearing witness, connecting with individuals, taking photos, taking videos, chalking. If you're just ready and have a lot of energy to get out and want to yell and want to chant and want to sing, go do a disruption. You know, there's so many different forms of activism that we can do, so I think that you need to prioritize within your schedule what's best for you. A really good way to utilize your energy as effectively as possible when you're out there. And every week, maybe try a different form of activism and spread it out so we can be supporting every organization. And a big tip, an added tip for organizers, I met a few organizers that told me a really cool tactic that they use in their city. I think it was in New Haven, Connecticut, so big shout out to you all. They have a shared calendar with all of the organizers so that they can schedule their events in there and see that if any events are sort of crossing over, so they can try to increase the odds of having everyone come to every event. So try these little tactics. If you're an organizer, try having a shared calendar. It's a great way to stay organized, and it's a great way to give the opportunity for everyone to come to all events. So that does it for today's quick little Q&A activism video. Thank you so much for asking your questions. I hope that I was able to offer some insight and perspective. If you have any more questions, let me know in the comments below. Send me a message on Instagram or Facebook. I'm going to be making these videos a lot more often. And once again, thank you again for watching this video, for being here, for your love, for your support, for your kindness, and for wanting to make this world a better place. But for now, much love from Mexico City. Peace.